Okay, today's daf is Yoma Chav Zayin, Yoma 27. The Gemara on top of Chav Zayin Amid Aleph. The Gemara says, the second line, Ashkachase la'abayda mispral lebrei. He was explaining, Abai was explaining to his son, the Shachat, Shechita bizarre kshera. Shechita is kosher even with the Yisrael. A Kohen doesn't have to do the Shechita of Kachim. Ma'ayin bata, where do you learn that from? Michal Shneimar v'tabanecha itcha tishmeros kunaskum shemeani afilu Shechita. You might think even a Kohen has to do Shechita. Amar Lomar v'shacha es bein abokar l'bnei Hashem v'ikrivu bnei Aaron al-Kohanim es hadam mikabala ve'elach mitzvos kun. It says v'ikrivu bnei Aaron. It says the children of Aaron will be makar of it, and we learn hakrivu. The Gemara learns in other places Makabel Adam, which comes after Shechita. V'samach yada v'shachar limin al Shechita sheksher bizarre. And Abai finishes off his teaching and he says v'samach yada v'shachar. In Pasuk Dalid in Vayikra it says v'samach yado. Person does smicha, and the next pasuk says v'shachar. So therefore, and we know v'shachar refers to Shechita is ksher even with a zar. So a lot of them are farsh and ask over here why does the Gemara say v'samach yado v'shachar? It seems the Gemara is learning out that the reason that Shechita is ksher bizarre is because it's a hekish. Pasuk Daled says v'samach yado, and then it says v'shachar. Just like smicha, we know could be done. Smicha is done by the bailam, by the owner of the korban, who is not necessarily a kohen. So the Shechita also likewise can be done even by a zar. But in other places, in other Gemaras, there's Gemaras in Brachos and in Zvachim and other places, the Gemara never mentions v'samach yada v'shachar. It doesn't bring this additional proof. Really, the whole limud is from the fact that it says v'shachar has been abakar b'nei Hashem ve'krivu b'nei Aaron. If it says v'shachar, it says anonymously. It doesn't say who does it. It could even be a zar, even someone from Yisrael. And then it says ve'krivu b'nei Aaron. Right after the shechita, the next thing is kabbalas adam, and the halacha and the zrika all have to be done by the kohanim. The shechita doesn't have to be done by the kohen. That's one question. Why does it say a second proof over samach yada v'shachar? Tosfos asked another question over here. The Gemara identifies v'hikrivu is referring to kabbalas hadam. How do you know v'hikrivu is referring to kabbalas hadam? So Tosfos brings that in the Gemara in Zvachim, Rashi seems to explain it for hikrivu is the first thing right after shechita. V'shachar. It says in the pasuk v'shachar has been abakar Hashem v'hikrivu. So it's the thing, Hekrivu refers to the thing that's right next to V'shachar. What happens right after Shechita? You're Makabel Adam. But Tosfos asked that in Zvachim Adaf Yud Gimel, the Gemara learns, the Gemara says in Zvachim Yud Gimel, the Gimel Amid Aleph, the Gemara says, the Gemara starts in the middle of Yud Gimel Aleph, the Kabbalah mi pasla, Batani V'krivu zu Kabbalah Hadam. Ata Omer Kabbalah Sadam, Wayna al Zrika, Ve'kriv. What does it mean? Does it mean Kabbalah or does it mean Zrika? Kishol Omer Vizarku, it says later on in the pasuk Vizarku, or Zrika Emor, Amani Mekai Ve'krivu Zu Kabbalah Sadam. So therefore, Ve'krivu refers to Kabbalah Sadam. And Tosfos it can't refer to the halacha, because halacha you don't necessarily have to do. You can shaft it right next to the Mizbeach. So it must be Ve'krivu, Zrika is already talked about, so therefore we're only left Ve'krivu has to be Kabbalah Sadam. So why is Rashi on Davdal and Zvachim saying Ve'krivu? We learn it means Kabbalas Hadam because it's next to the word V'shachar. And on Yud Gimel, the Gemara says it's because there's nothing else, because Rika was talked about. So therefore Ve'krivu has to be Kabbalas Hadam. That's the second question. The third question is also from Gemara in Zvachim. The Gemara in Zvachim on Lamed Aleph, Lamed Gimel and Beis. Sorry. Lamed Aleph, where is this Gemara? Here, Lamed Aleph and Beis, the new parak on the bottom. Then where it says Kol Apsulin Sheshachtu Shechitasim Kshera. The Mishnah says anyone who's pasul is Shechita Kshera. Shechita Kshera Bezarnu V'Nashim Avadim Uvitmeim. That Shechita is kosher even with Zarim, with Yisrael, a man who's not a Kohen, Nashim, woman even, Avadim, and Tmeim, people are Tameh. It's more inclusive than the regular Gemara that says Shechita Ksher Bazar. It seems like only a Yisrael. The Gemara says, the Gemara in Lamed Beis Amid Aleph, Shachtu Di'evid in L'Chatchila Lo. It sounds like it's only b'diavad. The Gemara says, "Raminu shachat shchita b'zar kshera, shchita kshera b'zar, van b'zar minashem avadim peyam filu kachim kachim." The Gemara seems to bring that it says shachtu diavad in the chatchila lo. That shchita, it sounds only b'diavad, but we have this lima that we have all over the place. That shchita b'zar kshera sounds like it's l'chachila. So, in order to answer all these questions, I want to suggest exactly this, like this Gemara in Zvachim over here, that the Gemara ends up saying in Zvachim, the reason it says, it starts off that it's b'diavad, shchitasan shera b'diavad, kol apsulin shachtu shchitasan shera b'diavad, it's because of tmeim, because the tamei is b'diavad. Tamei can't shach l'chachila because he might touch the meat. Tosos in Chulin, the beginning of Chulin, asks, the first Tosos in Chulin asks whether women are allowed to shech l'chachila b'diavad, and it brings 2 days whether l'chachila b'diavad. I want to suggest that we can answer the Tosos' question in Chulin. Tosos' 2 opinions. We can decide which opinion is correct from our Gemara. Because the Gemara says, why the extra pasuk over here? The reason I'm suggesting over here, why is Abayi bringing the second pasuk? We already know it from the first pasuk that Shechita is kshera b'zar. The first pasuk teaches me that Shechita is kshera b'zar l'chadchila. That's a man. We know the Gemara in Eruvin on Sadi Vav Amud Beis says we paskin like his day as Malus Tanai. We paskin bnei Yisrael somchom. That only men do smicha and women don't do smicha on their korban. So therefore, we know v'samachad of shachar is teaching me b'diavad. B'diavad, v'samachad of shachar is teaching me lecharchila. It's just like smicha is only done with a man. So shchita lecharchila is only done with a man. And then the pasuk, the Gemara about before, v'shach has been a markel ne'Hashem, they prove b'nei Aaron ha'konim as Adam. It says v'shachat before bnei Aaron. That's telling me even b'diavad, and that would be the makor, like the Gemara brings. That's the makor for the Gemara in Zvachim, in the Mishnah in Zvachim, Lamed Aleph and Beis, that b'diavad the shechita is share even with a woman. It doesn't have to be a man. And v'samachad v'shachat is teaching me l'chadchila, and that would answer also Tos's question over here that that Rashi and Daf Dal learns Kabbalas Adam. Hikrivu ben Aaron is talking about Kabbalah because next to Shechita, that's learned out of our Gemara over here. We're talking about the din l'chadchila of Shechita, which is talking about a man. So l'chadchila, that's going on the pasuk, which is l'chadchila. And the Gemara on Yud Gimel, where it shows it asked from, it seems to say a different makor. That's talking about b'diavad. That's talking b'diavad that we know that Kohen has to do Kabbalas Adam and not a zar or a woman. That we know from the fact that it says Zrika, so we're only left with Vekrivu means Kabbalas Adam. But the din l'chadchila, that Kabbalas Adam is with a Kohen and not with a zar, that we learn out, like Rashi says on Dalet and Zvachim, that we learn out from the fact that it says V'shacha next to Vekrivu.